Let's get into the first topic. What are the rights in a democracy? So the spirit behind thinking about rights was wanting a system where at least a minimum is guaranteed to everyone, whether they're powerful or weak, rich or poor, majority or minority. The minimum basic needs of what is required to a person is the spirit behind what came across for the rights in a democracy. So let us briefly decide what are rights in a democracy. So rights are claims of a person over other fellow beings, over the society and over the government. A right comes with an obligation to respect other rights. Let's see the dynamic nature of rights, how it's evolving through time. So their rights acquire meaning only in a society. So every society makes certain rules to regulate our conduct. What is recognized by the society as rightful becomes the basis of rights. So what is the basic foundation of rights? Those that are being recognized by the society. And society is very dynamic, it keeps changing, hence the rights conform to these changes. That is why the notion of right changes from time to time and society to society. When the socially recognized claims are written into law, they acquire real force. Otherwise, they remain merely as natural or moral rights. So when the rights that are claimed by the society, when they are written into law or written or mentioned in the constitution, that is when they come into force. Otherwise, they are just morally implanted in your society. That's how it is. When law recognizes some claims, they become enforceable. They come into existence. Hence, we can then demand their application. So, only when these rights are enforceable, you and I can go and demand for our rights. So, let us see the concept of violation or infringement of our rights. So, what does that mean? It means when fellow citizens or the government they do not respect the rights that are being enforced. Hence, in such circumstances, citizens can approach courts to protect their rights. You and I, when we know that the government is going against our basic rights, we can approach the courts in order for the court to help us protect our rights. So let's see the final and the main definition of what rights are. They are reasonable claims of persons recognized by society and sanctioned by law. So let's come into the basic question of why do we need rights in a democracy? Why do we have to have rights in a democracy? Rights are necessary for the very sustenance of a democracy. In order for democracy to be alive, a very alive concept, rights are very necessary. In a democracy, every citizen has to have the right to vote and right to be elected to government. In democratic elections, it is necessary that citizens should have the right to express their opinion or to form political parties and take part in political activities. So in democratic elections, these are the main functions and for that we need rights. Rights are necessary in order to protect the minorities from the oppression of majority. So in order to give a voice to the minorities people, we need rights. Rights are guarantees which can be used when things go wrong. This usually happens when those in majority want to dominate those in minority. Some rights need to be placed higher than the government so that the government cannot violate them. In most democracies, the basic rights of the citizen are written down in the form of a constitution, and that's when it becomes enforceable.